Close your eyes for a moment. Picture this. You're in a crowded cafe. The air is heavy with the smell of coffee and warm pastries. Conversations swirl around you, but your attention drifts to something unseen. You reach instinctively to the empty space beside you. Your phone should be there. It was there, wasn't it? You pat your pocket, nothing. A sudden uneasiness creeps up your spine. Your pulse quickens. A knot tightens in your chest. That knot isn't hunger. It isn't boredom. It's a fear that pulses deeper than any caffeine buzz. What's happening? This isn't just missing an object. This is a momentary loss of connection to your virtual lifeline. And it feels like panic. It feels like something essential has slipped away. This is the silent psychological struggle millions experience every day. Some call it nomophobia, and it might be gripping you right now without you even realizing it. So let's ask the question that's quietly echoing inside your mind. Why does the human mind break like this when a phone isn't within reach? Nomophobia, literally the fear of being without your mobile phone, isn't just slang. It's a real psychological phenomenon, studied globally as a byproduct of our increasing digital dependence. Today, we peel back the layers of this modern-day anxiety to understand not only what it is, but why it has eclipsed so many of us. The disturbing history. The term nomophobia seems almost tongue-in-cheek, a portmanteau of no mobile phone phobia, until you realize it wasn't born from internet memes or TikTok trends. Instead, it emerged from a very real study commissioned in the United Kingdom in 2008. Researchers found something unsettling. A significant number of people experienced anxiety when separated from their mobile phones, whether due to loss of signal, dead batteries, or simply being out of reach. Over the next decade, as smartphones exploded into global ubiquity, psychologists began to see a pattern. This wasn't just inconvenience, it was psychological distress. Fast forward to recent meta-analyses. When real researchers quantified nomophobia across populations worldwide, the numbers were startling. Around 1 in 5 individuals report severe nomophobia symptoms, about half show moderate symptoms, and only a minority show mild or no symptoms, even though this isn't an officially recognized clinical disorder yet. These aren't fringe outliers, these are everyday people, students, workers, parents, neighbors, all connected by a common subconscious anxiety. But what makes this so much more than just a habit? The scientific explanation and symptoms. Nomophobia isn't listed in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, yet its psychological footprint is unmistakable. At its core, nomophobia is fear, not fear of spiders, heights, or even public speaking, but the fear of being disconnected from the digital world. The symptoms mirror classic anxiety responses: tachycardia, a racing heartbeat, restlessness or agitation, compulsive checking behavior even without notifications. In severe cases, panic when the phone is lost, battery is dead, or signal is gone. For many, the phone is more than a device, it's a gateway to social acceptance, information, validation, and reassurance. That means when it's gone, so is the psychological safety net. Multiple studies confirm strong associations between nomophobia and anxiety, insomnia, and even social distress, pointing to a deeper internal mechanism that isn't purely behavioral, it's psychological. In one systematic analysis reviewing dozens of studies, researchers found nomophobia positively correlated with anxiety and insomnia, meaning those who showed greater fear of disconnection also tended to struggle with sleep and emotional regulation. This begins to explain what people mean when they say, "I don't feel right unless my phone is within reach." No, it isn't just a phrase, it's a symptom. The relationship with addiction and anxiety. Nomophobia doesn't exist in a vacuum. In many cases, it overlaps with smartphone addiction, a related but distinct phenomenon where compulsive use feeds emotional reliance. Research shows that smartphone addiction is an important predictor of nomophobia, especially among adolescents and young adults. In one large adolescent survey, the odds of developing nomophobia anxiety were significantly higher in those with smartphone addiction, meaning the more the phone becomes a psychological crutch, the more intense the fear of losing it. This intertwining relationship reveals something unsettling. Our emotional responses aren't just shaped by what our phones do, but how they are designed. Modern mobile apps and systems are engineered to keep us engaged longer, using personalized feeds, notifications, and psychological triggers that mimic reward pathways in the brain. Over time, this creates something eerily similar to a conditioned response. We learn that being connected equals safety, comfort, and reward. When that connection is threatened, the brain perceives it almost like a loss of security. Combine this with social anxieties, peer validation pursuits, and the fear of missing out, and you have a condition that feels disturbingly real, even if it's not yet officially classified as a clinical disorder. The twist in application. Let's pull back from the research and look the truth in the eye. Nomophobia might not be an official clinical diagnosis, but the data suggests it behaves like one. According to the largest meta-analysis to date, the vast majority of people report some degree of nomophobia. About 94% of participants in studies from 18 countries experienced mild to severe anxiety when separated from their mobile phones. Roughly half of those surveyed reported moderate symptoms, and about 1 in 5 struggled with severe anxiety. These are not isolated cases, they're nearly universal, but quantities only tell part of the story. Nomophobia doesn't exist alone. It is tightly bound to other psychological and physiological distress. It has strong, measurable links to anxiety, insomnia, and digital addiction. In a systematic review that pooled data from dozens of studies, researchers found positive associations between nomophobia and anxiety, a persistent state of heightened alertness and fear; smartphone addiction, compulsive, uncontrollable use patterns; insomnia, sleep disturbance caused by both nighttime phone use and stress about disconnection. This isn't a casual correlation, it paints a worrying picture of how the smartphone, once a tool, has become an emotional anchor. Consider insomnia, a condition that by itself wreaks havoc on mood, memory, judgment, and overall health. Many people with nomophobic tendencies report difficulty sleeping unless their phones are beside them, plugged in, or set to alert mode. This isn't coincidence. The very light emitted from screens suppresses melatonin, rewires sleep cues, and traps users in a cycle of later nights and anxious mornings. But here's the twist most people don't realize. Nomophobia isn't just about the device. It's about what the device represents: connection, information, validation, identity, and control. Modern smartphones are gateways to specifically engineered digital environments, platforms designed to keep us engaged, using techniques that mimic psychological reward systems. Social media feeds, dopamine-triggering likes, and instant messaging notifications all tap into our brain's reward circuitry. Over time, this conditioning can effectively train the brain to treat separation from the device as a stressor, just like separation from other humans or safety signals. So when your pulse quickens because you're out of signal range, when you find yourself obsessively checking battery percentage before walking out the door, or when you wake up and reach reflexively for your screen, that reaction isn't trivial. It's a window into a conditioned response, a psychological footprint left by years of dependency reinforced by design, and the consequences go far beyond convenience. Think about this. If our greatest evolutionary advantage was connection, to each other, to the world, what happens when that connection is mediated through a device that also rewires our brains? Is nomophobia a phobia, an addiction, or is it a mirror? A reflection of how deeply technology has blurred the line between tool and identity. In the next video, we'll explore how another modern phenomenon, the fear of missing out or FOMO, rewires your brain even deeper than nomophobia ever could. And that is why you need to watch the next videos.